Hey guys, and welcome to this live stream, which will be all about the number one mistake the majority of people do while drawing interior sketches in two-point perspective. So if you're interested, please stay tuned. Hi Vatikala, hi Cherkasova, hi Kate, Senora Sarakina, please let me know if you can hear me properly, if you can see me. So without further ado, let's dive deep into this number one mistake in two-point perspective interior sketch. Hi Ludmila, hi Zatsepina. So for now, I will rotate my camera, and if you have any questions, please put them in the comment box and I will answer them at the very end of this live stream. Okay, so for now, I will be focusing on the content. Thank you, Watercolor Cape Town. So you can hear me, you can see me. Hi, Almalet. Hi, Christina. So all your questions I will answer at the end. It will be kind of Q&A block of this live stream. And for now, I will be focusing only on the content because it's really very important, you guys. I can see so many new students, newbies in interior design drawing do this one only, the same mistake. So I'm rotating my camera. And what this mistake is all about, it's actually all about the wrong positioning of two vanishing points. Please let me know in the comments if you can see the difference between this sketch and this sketch. So do you feel like that this sketch looks more kind of correct and this one looks kind of wrong? You see that the angle is too harsh, right? So the perspective looks like a little bit strange, something is happening with it, like we have maybe a fisheye effect on our cameras, something like that. So I hope you guys can see it. And why this is happening is because our two vanishing points, and I will touch on them a little bit later, here they're spaced, they're positioned too closely to each other. That's why we have such a harsh, such an unnatural angle for the furniture boxes, right? Here, what you can see, yes, we have the same horizon line. We also have two-point perspective here. But look how more widely apart this vanishing point. So we can see this line, it will hit the horizon line at this A2 point. But look where is A1 is. So we even can't see it because it will be farther apart. It will be here. Right? So A1 will be located here. And look how different is the spacing. So here, if we measure, it's almost like the entire length of my pencil. But when we position it here, you guys, it's almost two pencils. This what gives us the correct feeling of our interior design drawings. And I've prepared for you a bunch of exercises which I want to talk upon in this live stream. So it will be all about this relationship of two vanishing points. And I want, at the very end, I will give you a little exercise that you can do even after watching this live stream. It's really simple. It involves a couple of books, a piece of paper, and a pencil. So let's take a look. Let's imagine a piece of paper. So now I'll talk about the relationship of two vanishing points and how it affects our interior design drawing, right? So how do we actually understand it even in more depth and avoid this number one mistake in two-point perspective interior sketches. So imagine that this is us, this little dot, this is us. So this diagram, it's a layout. So we see from above on the overall situation. So here it is us, and here these are our arms outstretched. This is the box right in front of us. And this is kind of a field of ground. So I did a little drawing for you. So if you can imagine that we are standing, our arms are outstretched and parallel to the sides of the cube. So we are standing and our arms outstretched in such a way that they create this 90 degrees angle, right? So that's why I placed here this little ruler. And we're standing in front of this cube, and the direction of our outstretched arms are actually the direction which will lead eventually to our vanishing point. So to the left will be A1, let's call it A1, and to the right it will be A2 vanishing points. So back to this diagram. So let's call this like a first position, or diagram 1, situation 1. Then we have this field of ground in front of us, right? You can imagine it's hard for you to imagine that this is you with your arms outstretched. Just imagine that this is kind of a tag, and this is a A4 piece of paper, and a little box is standing right here. And here we have an imaginary line, the picture plane line. So imagine this is like a big, huge, giant glass, piece of glass, rectangular glass. And this direction, this imaginary direction of our outstretched arms, or of an A4 piece of paper, at some point it will hit this line, this glass. And it will give us exactly these two vanishing points, like the positioning, the location of them. So what we will see here, this is the corresponding perspective drawing to this diagram. So basically what we see, this is the tag which is positioning right in front of the corner, right? So if we are standing and watching at this cube right in front of it, so what you will see, we will have the cube, which has its vanishing point in the same arrangement as they are in this diagram, equally distant from the center. So this space and this space, you can see that they are equally distant from the center. And both sides of the cube, right, the light side and the side which is in shadow, appear the same in size. And here you can also see that there is the same space, right, from point A1 till this imaginary center line, and the same space until point A2. Let me know, please let me know in the comments if it makes any sense to you. And let's take a look at second diagram 2, situation 2. So if it's a piece of paper, A4 piece of paper with a little box on it and a little tag, so you basically take a piece of paper and you put this tag, right, so you fixed it. And now we begin rotating the piece of paper. Yeah, thank you, Watercolor Cape Town. Hi, dear Maremia. Hi, 415 Catty. Hi, everybody. Hi, Katerina Watercolor. Bashful Bunnies. It's so great that you're all joining. So now you imagine that we start rotating this piece of paper, and we placed it in this position. So our cube is also, we kind of a little bit rotated it. So what we see now, that this center line and the space from the center line to A1 is so much different, right, in comparison with this space. Here we had equal distances. Here with a little rotation, so basically we take this piece of paper and we're rotating it a little bit closer to the center line. So, and now let's see from the position of the points, we'll change how they move apart from each other and how the cube changes its positioning to meet these changes, right? This new situation. So here we can see that A1 moves towards the center, right? Above the tag, so our center is right above the tag. And A2 moves really dramatically away from the center at a much faster rate. I hope you can see it. And now let's take a look at our cube in two-point perspective, right? So this is two-point perspective situation, and this one is as well two-point perspective. So the cube here, the cube now is drawn with the vanishing points in this relationship. So simply compare the space, right, here and here. This side became so much shorter than this one, right, and compare it with this situation where the central line runs right in the very center of this cube. Okay, so it was second position. Now let's continue rotating our piece of paper, our A4. What we will see now? We will see now that our piece of paper, it's like a rectangular form, right? And this side of our piece of paper is merged with this imaginary center line. So this is our third position. So our center is merged, and this is, you guys, the situation where where two-point perspective becomes one-point perspective. So here our A1 reaches the center and A2 disappears, right? So it became this parallel line, which is parallel to this imaginary line, the glass, as I called it at the very beginning of this live stream. So basically this is the direction of A2, right? And two parallel lines, as we know from mathematics, they do not intersect. So here A2, it doesn't have a plane, another line which it can hit, because it's absolutely parallel to it. So this is the third position, and this is the arrangement of perspective that is used in making a sketch of a room while standing at the center and directly facing a wall. So you can see that here we only have A1, and I did a little sketch. So this is basically absolutely the same situation, but here we are talking about a cube, and here we are talking about a room. So we are basically standing in the room and we are facing this back wall. So here we're basically standing in front of this cube and we are facing its side, right? And final position number 4, we continue rotating it. And it's really interesting because fourth position, it's absolutely the same as our number 2 position, right? Like our second position, but in opposite direction, right? So if we take a look at this cube, so this is the cube from our second position, and this is the cube from our fourth position. But they are like mirror-like, right? So here we continue rotating our piece of paper, and you can see that A1 is now here, right? So according to the center line, this is the moment when A1 dropped to the right side. Because if you take a look at all the previous situations, so we basically have the left side and the right side, and always we had A1 to the left and A2 to the right, as here as well as here, right? A1 is to the left side, A2 is to the right side. In this situation, it's very different because here our perspective became 1-point perspective, and here basically A1 is the same positioning on the center line. But here, our A1, it switched to the right side, and our A2 switched to the left side, right? If we continue this exercise, right, with A4 piece of paper, if we continue rotating it. So this is the drawing according to this positioning, and please remember, it's very important that in using this method, that the diagram of the line and sheet of paper, it's not a perspective drawing, but merely a method of showing how the two vanishing points may be moved in relation to each other. One moves slowly and the other one quickly. It's very, very good demonstrated here, right? So one moves slowly and the other one is really dramatic. So the two vanishing points should be spaced widely apart in your interior sketches in 2-point perspective. So this is the reason why we really want to avoid this #1 mistake in 2-point perspective interior sketching. This positioning of 2 points very close will create this wrong kind of perspective. And pretty obvious, but I will point on it, that we cannot have both points on the same size, on the same side of the drawing, right? So we have the left side and the right side, and we always have 1 point at one side according to the center line and 1 point on the other. So it's not possible that we have all 2 vanishing points on one same side. All right, you guys. So now I have a little task for you. I have a little task. Let me rotate my camera for a while. Hi guys, hi everyone who's joined us. Marta, Flamante, Dinkova, Pepe Caputa, Lukanova. So now I have a task for you. So it includes 4 steps. So step number 1. Take a couple of books right now in your apartment, in your house, and place books so that they lie in different positions on your desk. And tip here is to think boxes. Step number 2. Now point toward the vanishing points of each book. So basically imagine the sides of the book, they kind of prolong, and imagine where they will hit this imaginary like horizon line picture plane. Step number 3 is to draw a box of each book and show how its vanishing points would be determined by the positioning of your book/box. And final step, step number 4, reverse the process, so choose one of the positioning and draw books/boxes accordingly to meet this condition. And I will rotate my camera again to show you. So this is what I want from you after this exercise. So you simply want to make a drawing of a couple of books. You can put them one on top of the other. You can simply make like a separate drawings, like one is in this position, one is in that position, because I want you to play with this idea of positioning of vanishing points, and I want to understand it. And if you really do this exercise, please make sure to use my hashtag Sorokina Students. So this is my surname, Sorokina Students. You can find it in my bio right now if you're not sure how to write it correctly. And I will take a look at your drawings, and I'm really excited to see your drawings, and I hope this live stream, please let me know if you enjoyed this content. Because I really want you to avoid this #1 mistake in 2-point interior sketching that the majority of people do. And if you don't know yet, I have a free video course on perspective basics, on 1 and 2-point perspective basics. It's freely available on my website, olgarat888.com. So check it out, because there are thousands and thousands of students who are enrolled in it, and they are getting really great results, because in this video course, and it's free, I give you exact information, like the very basics for interior sketching in 2-point perspective and in 1-point perspective, as well as architecture basics of 1 and 2-point perspective. And another free resource that you can enjoy, it's my blog. So I will rotate my camera once again. So my blog, you will easily find it by putting olgard.com/blog in English. So this is how it spells, right? So blog in English. And you hit the button, or you can simply visit my website and you check out these sections. So you can find this blog section at the very end, so you can access it by here. By the way, this is the announcement bar where you can join my free perspective challenge, which I shortly talked about. And here in this blog you can read a lot of really useful blog posts on interior design drawing. So, for example, a couple of articles like 4 masters of interior sketching and their drawing trips, how to create a great interior design portfolio, what is perspective in drawing, perspective basics for interior designers, what is sketching, and the 5 most popular types of it. And shortly I will be publishing a new article on my blog, and it will be about my top books on perspective drawing. So if you're really excited about this topic, just stay tuned. I will make a post on my Instagram, and I will add a link in my YouTube video of recording of this live stream. So for now it's Q&A time. Let me answer your questions if you have one. So thank you, Watercolor Cape Town. Thank you. I have been struggling with perspective of book sketches. Oh, I'm so glad that I could help you. Natalia Kiseleva, hello. Привет, привет, привет. So let me find if you have any questions. And it looks like you guys, you can't see any questions. You don't have any questions. All right then. Yeah. Go live more often. Okay, I'm really glad that you enjoyed it. All right, then I will save this live stream. It will be available for 24 hours here on Instagram. And enjoy the recording and this content that I shared with you, and please avoid this number 1 mistake the majority of students do in 2-point perspective sketching. Oh, I can see a question from Bashful Bunnies. For how much time have you been drawing? Oh, like drawing in general, I actually started drawing even before I started speaking, so it was probably 2 or 3 years old. I'm not sure when children start talking, but if we are talking about perspective drawing, and for example, I studied interior design, interior architecture for 6 years. So it was starting from 2004 till 2010. So 6 years of studying. The 6th year was my diploma project in interior architecture, and I was drawing, obviously, interior design drawings from day 1 of my first day right at the art academy. So. But in general, drawing and perspective drawing, it's like maybe like 15 or 20 years. Is really, really long time that I've been drawing it. So thank you guys, and enjoy the recording of this live stream. Bye for now. Have a beautiful, beautiful day and great